Hey Taurus, what's up? We are here with a timeless reading for you. Happy New Year. Alright, first card that we have out is Page of Wands. I'm seeing Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. It looks like something was beginning, and there could have been a lot of possibility that was connected with this. Okay. I feel like you found something that was interesting to you. I feel like something didn't work out. It looks like what's going to help you is sort of reflecting on this and being honest with yourself about that. I do feel like this wasn't something where there was like a whole lot of investing in. It feels like it was the beginning. Like there could have been sparks about it. It's like you see a road and you're like, I'm very, very interested in traveling down that road, and you pack everything up and you're ready. So there's that sense of intention there. And then you arrive at the road which you had been planning to go down, and there's a roadblock there, so you can't go down. That's what I'm seeing. And the guides are saying that what's going to be helpful to you right now is looking at that. And for some of you, you're looking at it and being like, man, I would have really enjoyed going down that path. But what I'm seeing is your guide saying you actually wouldn't have, like, it wouldn't have done what you were looking for. Okay. So I feel like this actually saved you from getting more involved in something that wouldn't have worked anyway. Well, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have worked anyway, but it wouldn't have... I'm seeing there be something here particular that you're looking for, and it wasn't going to be found in that situation. Like, that wasn't the one. Okay. Okay, you need some time to process. Hopping into something creative may be helpful, or hopping into something that feels inspiring to you is going to be helpful. I'm seeing your guides like want you to process this, but not spend too much time doing nothing. I feel like they want you to sort of keep your hands busy here. Okay, so this makes sense. What I was seeing when I first pulled the cards out was that there was something that was getting started, but because of the layout of everything, it feels like what's going to help you is sort of like starting a new thing, starting something else that you feel interested in. Sometimes the advice is to like not do anything and to take the time to process, but I'm getting them be like go into something else that you find interesting that can kind of pull your energy that way. With a heavy heart, you may be going into this, whatever it is that you're doing next is what this is feeling like. But some of you, I'm getting a very, very creative vibe coming through. For some of you, you're going to create something based off of this. Like having the Three of Swords here and having the Magician here, this can be like a breakup album, or it can be a piece of artwork that's like devastating, but also beautiful, but it's also very raw and real. It can be... really anything that's being created that's based off of this. I'm just using music as an example because it's a very Taurian thing connected with Venus. But really any type of artistic expression. It can be like, I don't know, like wearing your makeup like as a, I don't know, like a sad clown for a week. Like it can really be just whatever it is that you want to do. But I feel like some sort of creative expression is going to be made. Poetry can be another thing with Mercury here. Like maybe you're gonna go somewhere and like express your anger if you're feeling anger. Like you can be feeling a whole bunch of things based off of this. But it seems like doing something or getting involved with something, even like coloring, you know, you could really do anything here, but I'm getting your guides be like, do an expressive activity. It's going to help you move through this. Don't just sit and wallow. You need to keep moving. They don't want you to stagnate. Okay. It's like you need something up ahead to be interested in. I do feel like you really got your hopes up with this. But I'm getting something hurt, and then it came to an end. But in order for you to... So Page of Wands is, I want to move in a direction towards something that I'm interested in, and I hope that one day it can turn into something foundational, something that's more established, something that I can like come home to in a sense, even like metaphorically speaking. What I'm seeing is that like that's your goal here. This situation, it ended because that's not what was going to play out. So I'm seeing your guides be like, keep moving, keep looking, keep going into the next thing, because I'm seeing you have like an agenda here. You have an intention here, and I'm seeing your guides be like, in order for you to do that, you have to move on from this situation, because if you stay stuck in it, it's not going to progress further. So that's why I'm seeing you be encouraged to keep moving, so you can actually manifest what you want rather than just staying stuck in this thing that clearly didn't work out and isn't going to. That's also the thing too, it's not going to. You're not going to go back into this. So let's just say it like this, right? Let me use like a very clear example. Let's say you started talking to somebody and you were interested, like maybe you guys went on a couple dates with one another and you were really, really into them. Like I'm seeing you be in a spot where you were ready to sort of take this where you wanted to go with it. But then I'm seeing something happen, and then I'm seeing an ending happen. So it feels like there was an event, and then like this is definitely not going to work, so you guys separated from one another, like broke up with one another. You're not going to be seeing each other anymore. You're not going to be doing that thing anymore that you were very excited to do before. And I'm seeing your guides say, if you want to manifest a relationship, you need to recognize what happened here, that it wasn't going to be what you needed it to be, and in order to find what it is that you're looking for, you need to keep moving forward, because it's attainable for you. But it's not going to be attainable in this past situation that didn't work out. So your guides are like get away from there. You don't need to be doing that anymore. It's like this little project or relationship of yours that's like died, and you're just standing there like in the middle of the road staring at it, but it's not going to bring it back to life, you know? That's what I'm feeling. So you sort of have to go to the next thing that's going to be functional for you, because this situation is not it. And I do feel like there needs to be a recognition of that, because you could have been, you know, sometimes when something comes to an end and we almost don't want to believe it, so it's like I'm staying hopeful that maybe it'll come back to life. I'm seeing your guides be like, don't do that here, okay? Because as much as there can be a part of you that's like, I really liked it, I really wanted it to work, you know, it's like that very stubborn energy of fixed energy. I wanted it to be this way, but it's not that way. And I know part of the reason why when something ends, we stay in that fantasy space is because we know that it's going to be painful moving forward, but that's also where the progression lies, and that's also where the thing that you want lies. It's up ahead. And so you have to keep moving through this. I feel like something painful happened and you still continued to invest in it anyway, and then it came to like a full stop end. So I do feel like there was some large warning sign here, but you could have been like, you know what, I'm on this train, I'm gonna stay on it. But then I'm seeing like the whole thing just collapse. But then I'm seeing the Magician come out right after. So this feels like I need to make a vision board now. Like I need to set my intention now. And I'm seeing it's going to help you accomplish exactly what you're trying to accomplish. I don't know if this is advice in a general sense or it's for a specific situation. I'm only seeing Mercury here, by the way, and I'm also seeing the King of Swords too. So this feels like you really being on top of communicating and expressing yourself and not holding back. Because to have the King of Swords here, this is you initiating things verbally within the communication, bringing things to light, saying what's on your mind, not holding back. And to have the Magician, it's the communication, so it's the way that you express yourself and what's going on mentally for you. Back to what I was saying, I don't know if this has to do specifically with this situation or this is like in a more general sense, but I'm getting your guides saying something about like needing to pay attention when you're getting involved in a situation with another person or other people, that it's like wonderful and amazing and encouraged for you to show up and be like working with them actively. However, when you get to the point where you see something where you're like, oh, like this isn't like really fitting for me, or I thought it was going to be this, but I'm seeing that it's actually turning into this other thing instead, and that's not resonating with me, or that's not what I'm looking for. It's like needing to say something then about that and address something. Even if there's a habit of something being established already. This is always a thing with fixed signs, okay? Like, let's talk about specifically, Taurus, for you, with your fixed earth energy. Fixed signs, which there are 4 of you guys, fixed signs. It's like when I get in this lane, I stay in this lane. And when it comes to Taurus, because it's an earth sign, it has to do with like our daily routine and our habits and what we get involved in and what we're like physically participating in. And so it's like when you get in the habit of hanging around somebody or interacting with them, you can get to a spot where, or like going to work or whatever, part of your routine, you can get to a spot where you're like, I hate doing this, but you stay doing it. Or like, this isn't working for me, you stay doing it. I'm unsatisfied, you stay doing it. So it's about, and all of the fixed signs sort of do this in their own way when we're leaning only into that energy. So it's about reminding ourselves that we may have to manually pick ourselves up and put ourselves in another lane. And it may feel very against our nature, but it's necessary when we check in and look at something and be like, this actually isn't working. And like, why do I keep showing up here? But you show up because it's habitual and it's routine. So it's taking the time to step back and actually look at that and process it from an air perspective, from a mercurial perspective, where you're like looking at this in a logical, cerebral way, rather than just, I'm comfortable because I do this every day, or I'm comfortable because this is so familiar to me. Okay? Because I'm seeing there had been something that you were down to work within and work even like in some type of situation, but why? Because it wasn't something that you like actually genuinely wanted to be doing. I just get this sense of I was doing it because it was familiar, because that's what we'd been doing. So like you have to know too, fixed signs are very committed. And so it's not just with all of the signs and with all of the modalities, there are pluses and there are minuses. The minus can be, I need to switch lanes and I'm not, even if that means I'm going to crash into the car ahead of me. But at the same time, it can be like, I'll show up and I'll be consistent and I'll be here every single day because that's a promise that I made. And so there's that sense of devotion with it as well, which is a very beautiful thing. But we have to make sure that it's still like genuine for us. And I get this thing like wasn't really feeling genuine for you anymore. So regardless of how it ended, which I don't know if you necessarily, I feel like this thing ended and you may have not been the one that wanted to end it, is kind of what I'm feeling from this. However, I'm seeing your guides be like, it wasn't the thing. That's why it didn't work out, okay? So keep moving and stay open and stay curious, because I'm seeing your guides also say that there are going to be like more people and more interactions and more sort of like collaborative situations that are coming up, and you need to be keeping your eye out right now, okay? But you don't need to be looking back into this situation. You need to be open to new stuff. Some of you, you're feeling stressed out because of like the specific type of connection that you have with this person. But it's just like not something to go back into right now is what I'm seeing, okay? Hold on. I'm getting another energy come through. Just give me a sec. Some of you, there may be like something more serious going on. When I say more serious, I mean it could have been like something more established that you're looking at and looking into, because I feel like you were doing something that felt exciting to you, then that stopped. Then you started doing something else and that felt like a win for you. But then you got to this point where you were doing it and you were like, why am I doing this? Because I feel even like you rebounded off of something and then got involved in something else where there was a sense of commitment. Like, now I'm involved in this, like I'm somehow tied down to it. And I'm trying to work things out in that way. But then I'm seeing you, and I wonder too for some of you if this is like the same person. I guess it doesn't matter anyway. It's sort of like just energetically what's going on. Some of you started something with someone, things ended, but then you guys like came back together again and started working on a relationship, but then you got to the point where you were like, nope, still not working. For others of you, this was like a rebound situation that you got into, and in the middle I'm seeing there be like a heavy sense of commitment and regularity to something, like it being habitual. But then I'm seeing you get to the point where you're like, I'm showing up and I'm trying to work with this person, but I don't feel like my heart is in it. And for some of you, this is something that's going to be brought up. Like, I don't know if you actually technically stepped out, but you may be stepping forward to the point where you actually say something about this and bring it up. But some of you, you're feeling conflicted about doing that, but you feel like it's sort of something that you saw and now you can't really unsee it anymore. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.